Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you guys for coming so much. I think some people are getting lost, to be honest with you, in the building, parking, stuff like that. So I'm going to do this a little differently today. All right, so let me introduce myself. I'm Ricky Carruth. I'm going to be your host this morning. All right, here in a little while, I'm going to introduce our sponsor, Ricky Carruth, from ZeroToDiamond.com, who paid for this event. And then after that, I'm going to introduce the keynote speaker, Ricky Carruth. All right, how's that sound? So listen, guys, before we go any further, let me just ask you this. If you guys, tell me if you've ever been at a closing, okay? You're at the closing, you're with your clients, the title company's there, all right? The title company passes out the closing statement. We're looking at it. Everyone's looking at it. Your clients are looking at it. We're looking at it. We're making sure all the numbers are right. We go through the first page. We flip over to the second page. We go to the top left of the page, and we see the commission. And I see the commission. I don't know if you guys are like this, but sometimes when I see that commission, I think, woo-wee! I'm fixing to be walking out of here with how much money? These people are about to give me what? Guys, where I came from, roofing houses for $250 a week, every single deal that I do, I look at that like that is a lot of money. $2,000, $5,000, $15,000, $30,000, $50,000, whatever it is a lot of money, right? And as I'm looking at it, I'm looking at this money, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, they're fixing to pay me how much? I'm saying to myself, stay cool, stay cool, stay cool. So I'm sitting at the table like this. And my client's like, Ricky, the numbers look good? Everything looking good there? I'm like, they're like, you okay? Everything cool? I'm like, and then, right, in that moment, and you guys are probably like this, as soon as I do a deal, as soon as I get a listing, right, do you guys take out a calculator and start calculating exactly how much money you're going to make on that deal? I've always done that. I've calculated, I'm looking at the money I want to make. I calculate all my pending deals. Okay, I got this much coming. Even though I know a lot of them, some of them are going to fall through, I've always been like that. So I'm sitting there, and they're asking me that. I'm trying to maintain composure. And then I start thinking about how many times he called me during the deal with requests and questions and wanted me to do this and wanted me to do this. And I started thinking about everything that I do during a deal. And then I started looking at that number and I started thinking, I don't think they're paying me enough. I don't think they're paying me enough for everything that I'm doing. So I'm sitting there, and now I'm trying to maintain composure for a totally different reason. Now I'm thinking, they ain't paying me enough. And we do. Real estate agents do so much behind the scenes, so much more than what the general public thinks that we do. General public thinks that we wake up in the morning and from in our bed upside down, we're docu-signing some stuff and make $10,000. That's the way they view it. That's why they try to bring you down on your commission. That's why they talk about, well, there's this flat fee company that does it for $2,500. You guys aren't worth $15,000. Why are you worth $15,000? There's a huge misconception in the industry about what we do behind the scenes through the deals. And let me tell you something. What we do behind the scenes is not going to be replaced. We're not going to be replaced. As much as Zillow, as much as you think, I don't even think they're really trying to replace us, but as much as people want to think that companies like that are trying to take us out, they can't replace what we do that really nobody sees. So I want you to understand how solid of an industry and a business that you're in, and have confidence in your career, right? And I want you to take this, I want you to think about it, I want you to realize it, and I want you to go all in. Okay? Who's going to go all in? Say I. Aye. All right. I'm going to bring up our sponsor. All right? This guy's a free real estate coach. He's crazy. All right? He's all the way from Alabama. Ricky Carruth is Zero to Diamond. What's up, everybody? How we doing? Good to see all you guys today. I know you guys don't like to hear a lot from sponsors, so I'll make this quick. Now, I'm Ricky Carruth, and I'm a free real estate coach. I actually still sell real estate as well. Imagine that. You may know me from all my videos and my one-liners, like business is unlimited forever, and competition doesn't exist. Closings are going to happen every day for the rest of your life, forever, regardless of market conditions. And relationships over transactions, every single time. So my goal was zero to diamond, of course. You guys know this. How many people watched the Miami replay? You guys need to watch the Miami replay of my speech I just did 2 weeks there, because I really broke down every single piece of why I do what I do, how I do what I do, right, and how I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing. You guys really need to go back and watch that. But my goal is, okay, since a lot of you didn't watch that, is to reduce the failure rate in the real estate industry, one agent at a time. And I'm doing it, I'm accomplishing it, okay? Because I get messages from agents all the time who tell me, I just talked to a gentleman a minute ago, where's Cole? This guy just started in the business in March, and he's already closed 5 or 6 deals, and he said, it's all my stuff. Just hearing stories like that, right? But it goes deeper. So many agents have messaged me saying, I was about to have to quit the business until I found you, until I found your content, until I started to implement what you're talking about in your videos and your program, right? And I never charged them a dime. And here they are, they're telling me now they're getting listings every week. They're closing deals every month. And they have some momentum and a nice foundation built that they can build on. That's why I do what I do, guys, to get the messages from you saying, this is helping, right? This is helping. That's what keeps you guys motivate me to keep doing what I'm doing, right? So as your sponsor, you know I got to get you guys to do something, right? I want to give away some books. I'm going to sign a couple of these books and give away right now. And I want to give away a lot more books, okay? Who wants a book? If you guys will take out your phones and text me at this number, I'm going to give away 50 books today. 251 251 312 8844. Just text me there, add yourself to my contacts list. And you're also going to get a link. Now, this is very important. And this is from me to you here, a gift. I have a new Discord server. I don't know if you guys know what Discord is, but it is better than a Facebook group. Complete 100% transparency. Facebook, when I go there to the Zero to Diamond Facebook group and I'm scrolling through to look at you guys' daily results, I don't see all your daily results because of the Facebook algorithm showing me what they want me to see. Discord is chronological order in the exact timeline that things were posted. I can scroll all the way back through and see every single thing. So if you join that Discord, the Zero to Diamond Discord, and you go there and post your daily results, I will see them. And you can connect. There's already 2,000 agents there, and it's a great place to connect, referrals, and we also have a cold calling room. You guys can go in there and just click there and go in there and make your calls with other people making calls during the day. If you go there right now, you'll see there's probably 10 to 20 people in that cold calling room right now making calls. You can go in there and watch them make calls. You can talk to them. You can make your calls, right? Who wants another book? There you go, my man. right. Cool. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you letting me the opportunity to sponsor this event. I'm going to hand it back over to the hostess with the mostest, Ricky Carruth. All right. Y'all give it up for Ricky. Y'all give it up for our sponsor today. It's good people. He's real good people. All right. I'm going to bring up the keynote speaker in just a second. First, I wanted to talk about the fact that when I finally realized that, okay, we're doing this Salt Lake thing, and this is going to be the second stop on my tour, I was like, I want to spend an extra day there. I want to check this place out. So I decided to bring my family, which are, they were right there, Whitley. Give it up for my family. Now that's a beautiful family right there, I got to say. I'll tell you a few things about my wife really quickly. Number one, most amazing person I ever met and incredible mom. But she pushes me every single day to get better. And since the moment that I met her 11 years ago, she has been pushing me ever since, right? We met each other at RE/MAX. Okay, funny story, when we met at RE/MAX, we started at RE/MAX on the same month. And we were new, so we didn't know who all was working there before or anything. So we, later on, like 3 or 4 months later, when we actually said hi, we realized that I thought she had been there for years, and she thought I'd been there for years, right? So we became friends. We were friends for a long time. But what was very interesting, and one thing that sticks out of my mind about that period of time was she was a W-2. She was my broker's assistant. And, as a W-2 worker, you can leave at 5 o'clock. Right? You're a 9-to-5 person, okay? Every single night, she was in her office, I was upstairs in my office. We were only 2 cars there, till 8 or 9 o'clock every day. I mean, this is when I was trying to get back in the business. I'm working 15 hours a day. I'm looking up phone numbers. I'm doing mail outs. I'm doing everything I can do, trying to really hack the system here. I'm trying to really make it. And she could leave at 5 o'clock, but didn't. She was there till 9 o'clock because there was still work to be done. She wasn't worried about the 5 o'clock thing. So if you guys think I'm a hard worker, you haven't met her yet, right? Another thing, how much she cares about people. She pushes me because I'm really laid back and I don't really care about a lot of things. I'm kind of one of these like, just let it happen and we'll see what happens. But she brings me back and really stretches me outside of my comfort zone. In terms of, wait a minute, you should care about this. And I started thinking, I'm like, yeah, maybe I should care about this right here. And it pushes me out of my comfort zone. So I love you. Thank you so much. All right, I'm the host of this with the mostest. I got one more book. Golly, you really want it. Her own brow broke. All right, guys. I'm going to bring up the keynote speaker. All right, this guy, he is a real estate agent. He is a coach. He is an author. He's everything and anything. Let's bring him up. Ricky Carruth. Thank you guys so much for coming, for real. It means a lot. This is a free event, okay? Totally free to you guys. And yeah, you can watch this on YouTube. But you know what? For me, when I break it down and I really think about it, I think about, okay, if I were in, some of you guys' shoes, I'm trying to take my business to the next level, and I have an opportunity to be in the same room with someone who's closing 100 deals for going on 8 years in a row, okay? I'm going to get in that room, and I want to be around somebody with a higher energy. If you want to elevate your game, okay, you got to get around some higher energy. You got to be around somebody with a different perspective on the business, right? You got to shake up what you're doing. You got to take what you're doing, which is the foundation, and then you got to look and see what people that are on a much higher level are doing, and then you start tweaking what you're doing to try to find the pieces of the puzzle, right? And the only way to do it is to get exposed to people with the higher energy. When you can be in the same room with somebody and you can feel the energy that they have, that got them to the level they are, that can rub off on you. And you can't get that from video. You can't get that from a podcast. You can get a feeling, it can help you, but being in person, would you guys agree? It can take you to an entirely different level. Okay? So who's excited and willing to put in the work, say aye. All right, we're going to try that again here in a little while. The more and more I kept thinking about you guys here in Salt Lake and how I wanted to bring you value today, okay? Because I know a lot of you watched a lot of my content. I figured a lot of you watched the Miami event. But the more I started to think about how I wanted to bring you guys value, what I came up with is that I want to discuss three things. And what I really want to do, and where I think the most value is going to come from, is the Q&A at the end. I want to do more Q&A than I did in Miami. I only took 2 questions. This is a smaller group, so I want to do some more Q&A at the end. But the 3 things that I wanted to touch on, okay, just to try to help change your perspective on a few things, is number 1, this concept of working for free. I coach for free. Everything I'm doing, you guys are here for free. There's a lot of things that I do, right, for free. I want to touch on that. And I want to help you understand how you can use that in your real estate businesses, okay? Second thing I want to touch on is building your brand, building your personal brand, okay? And the third thing is setting expectations, setting your expectations, right? There's the setting of expectations of your clients, but there's also setting your own expectations, because that can be a dangerous game to play as well, okay? So let's talk about the concept of working for free, okay? And listen, guys, I'm going a different direction here than my normal, okay, here's my story, here's the scripts, here's, call people, do this. I want to go deeper today, okay? If you guys have prospecting, if you guys have strategy questions, let's get into it in the Q&A, right? But I want you guys to understand how I think about this, because I think this is super important. I feel like it's the wave of the future, to be honest with you. This working for free, helping with no expectations, bringing value, just pouring on value, right? Low pressure sales, I believe, is the next generation of sales. It's catching on slowly, right? It takes a long time to, re-engineer a lot of, many decades of bad training, right? Let me ask you this. Show of hands. How many people here, okay, if given the opportunity, all right, would do business with me? Keep them up, keep them up, keep them up. I want to see this. I want to see. That's everybody, right? Does anybody, who here would not do business with me if given the opportunity? Raise your hand if I've ever charged you a dime for anything. I've never charged any of you a dime, but yet every single one of you said, if you had the opportunity to do business with me, you would. How powerful is that? Do you guys see what I'm doing here? Do you understand the concept? It's very, very, extremely powerful and important for you to understand how this whole thing works. Because mainstream training, okay? Mainstream training, right? High pressure sales, only go for motivated people, right? Is killing your business. All right? Now, we need to start thinking about how we can do what I just did in this room in our each individual local markets for our real estate business. We need to create a scenario where we've brought so much value to the local market that they are dying for the opportunity to do business with us, right? And when you really create that value proposition, and you've really brought that much value to your market, you don't have to worry about where your next deal's coming from. Your business is automatic at that point. You guys know, you should know, I haven't made a call since 2017. I've done nothing for my real estate business but my weekly email. I don't call and check on my clients. And listen, maybe that's bad to say. I don't have time, though. I'm too busy helping people buy and sell properties. That's the progression. Okay, that's the progression of your real estate business. Okay, I'll go through the progression really quickly. As a new agent, you don't have a database. As you grow to 50 to 100 people in your database, you can call them twice a year and check on them. As you grow the next year to 500 and you're a little busier, it gets a little harder to call them twice a year. Now we're doing it once a year. Maybe it goes to 1,000 and maybe somehow we still find a way to call those people once a year. But at some point your database gets to the level that you can't call them. You're too busy closing deals. That's the progression. And you want to do the twice a year as long as you can until you can't anymore. I mean, I do things as long as I can until I can't anymore. I'm still showing properties. I'm still going to listing appointments. I'm still going to closings and inspections and negotiating repair addendums and stuff. I stretch things out way farther than I should. A lot of people argue, get a showing agent, do this, do that, get out of that, do your coaching, that's whatever. That's just not how I'm built. I'm going to stretch it out. You guys need to think the same way. As long as you can do something to show personability in your business, you need to do it as long as you can do it until you can't. And if you can't, that's for a reason, because you're closing deals. Market crashes, deals slow down for a month or two. What do? Dive back into our database. Call them, see how they're doing. Any opportunity you get if there's a slowdown in the business. But back to the value proposition that we have to give our local market to create this scenario where everybody wants to do business with us. What did I do? Okay. When I got in the business, everybody knows that, made a mill, lost it, went back to roofing, worked on a little rig, came back in 2008. 2008 started the weekly email. For me, when I got back in the business and I was having conversations with my clients, totally different conversation than before. Before, I was trying to close deals. When I got back in the business, I didn't care if they wanted to buy or sell. Right? I didn't care if they wanted to buy or sell. I just wanted to help them if they did, and then I wanted to work with them later if they didn't. That's it. Either way is fine with me. Let's just work together. What do you want to do? Right? What do you want to do? So when you combine, and listen, if you're from a high pressure mantra, right? And then you hear me and you're like, oh, that's it, man, that's it. And you can't, it's hard to go cold turkey. When I started to realize that I had to start bringing value and actually care about people, care about what people wanted and how I could help people, it wasn't like I just flipped a switch and I was just all of a sudden just Mr. Low Pressure. No, I was 50-50 for a minute. When I got back in the business in 2008, I was 50-50. I was having better conversations. They were feeling like they were part of my family. But there was still a part of me that was trying to close deals too, right? But let me tell you something. The more and more, I'm still trying. I'm not even 100% there yet as far as like completely relationships over transactions. I'm not all the way there. I'm striving to get there. And the more and more I let go of trying to close the deal or trying to make money, the more transactions and money I make. It's just so hard, isn't it, to let go of trying to get deals closed. But the more and more I do, the more and more I get. I want you to understand that. But the process is not cold turkey. You got to work your way into this thing, right? And then now we have to realize, okay, people pick their agents because of who they feel like is their friend in the business that they feel like is going to take care of them, right? Does everyone agree with that? That that's the number one reason why someone chooses a real estate agent? Because they feel like they're a friend that they trust that's going to take care of them. So the objective needs to be, how many friends can we make in the market? Not how many sales we can make. That's going to come out of the friendships. Because you lose so many deals going after the deal. Because people smell it a mile away. They smell that that's what you're trying to do, and they're out because they don't trust you now. And the smallest little thing will throw them off because you might really care about them, and you might be thinking, I care, but then your client there's some red flag somewhere in your delivery. You're not lining up exactly who you are that you care with how you're communicating. So that's one thing I want you guys to think about really hard today. All right? So think about this. Next time you're talking to, your mother, your spouse, your best friend, your brother, your cousin, fellow agents that you feel really comfortable with, right? Today, so because you guys are going to forget this tomorrow. Today, when you're talking to somebody you're really comfortable with, I want you to take just a second during that conversation and just pay attention to what's happening in the conversation in terms of how comfortable they are with you, how comfortable you are with them, your tone, right? I want you to screenshot that moment in your mind, and I want you to think about, okay, I feel very comfortable here. They're very comfortable. Listen to my tone, speed of voice, pitch. I want to emulate that exact moment with my prospects. If you can talk to your prospects like they are your family, I promise you, your business is going to go to an entirely different level. Things that you thought would never happen are going to happen, right? So in 2008, when I got back in, so many foreclosures. So my value proposition back then was, I'm going to send the foreclosures out every week. I didn't think of that. Clients told me that. They said, I want a weekly list of foreclosures. So I said, okay, I'll give you a weekly list of foreclosures. And I was like, I bet everybody wants this. So I started sending a weekly list of foreclosures. Okay? Eventually, as foreclosures went away, it turned into a market report that had all the closed sales, for like the last 6 months or whatever, all of them. I would send pending deals. I would send so much information, ridiculous amount of information. And real estate agents were telling me, why are you doing that? Don't you want your clients to call you to get the closed sales? I said, no. I want them to call me when they're ready to buy or sell something. I'd rather give them all the information, right, for nothing. I even have people say, you should charge like $1 a month for your weekly email and stuff. No. I want to give all this stuff away as much as I can. I want to pour it on so that I've brought them so much value that if the opportunity ever came up for them to do business with me, that they're going to be dying to do so. You guys understand? Now, I don't know what your value proposition is. I don't know how you're going to bring value to your market. I don't know what your thing is. I don't know what you're good at. You may be great at video. Facebook videos and, videos may be your thing that you use for your value proposition to pour on the free information, to pour on the value to your local market. But if you can figure that one out, for me, I got to keep it simple. I don't want to do 15 million things. I want to focus on 2 or 3 things that work really well. And that's why I tried everything. And when the dust settled, circle prospecting and a weekly email was it. That's how I built my entire business. We didn't have Red X. We didn't have social media. We didn't have, all these communication technology apps and stuff. We didn't have any of this stuff. I couldn't go back and, get a bunch of old expireds with the click of a mouse. I couldn't dial 100 numbers an hour, okay? You guys have an incredible opportunity right now. New agents have it absolutely made. New agents have it absolutely made. And I'll touch on that in a minute when I'm talking about setting expectations, all right? Now, who's excited and ready to put in the work? Say aye. Aye. All right. Let's touch on personal branding. Branding, really, but personal branding, really. Because this business, it's not about it's about you as the agent. It's not really your company, your brokerage, right? Your brokerage, when you really break it down, us agents, we're the customers of the brokerage, not our clients. Our clients are our customers. We're the brand for our customers, and then we're the customers for the agencies. right? The agency just puts their name at the top of the contract. They don't negotiate, they don't price, they don't show property, they do nothing. Their name's just at the top of the contract, and they don't even do that. We do that for them. All we do is give them money at the end of the deal, right? So understand, you are the brand. You have to understand that this is a personal branding game. Real estate's a personal branding game because people are dealing with you on a one-on-one basis, and they got to trust you for how you're going to handle their situation, right? So, listen. People are like, I'm working on my brand. I'm like, okay, what are you doing? They're working on their logo. They're getting the colors just right. They're working on their website, right? That's not your brand. That's marketing. Your brand is who you are. I'll break it down. The weekly email, for example, right? Every Wednesday since 2007. I only missed one time because a hurricane hit the night before unexpectedly. Every single Wednesday since 2007, okay? Now think about this. Every Wednesday since 2007, what does that tell my clients, okay? It shows my clients how consistent, dependable, hardworking, honest, professional, knowledgeable. It shows them everything that I am as a person. It gives that to them at scale. Because I can send this to 5 people or 5 million people. It still takes me the same amount of time. So now I've learned how to build a brand around who I am to show them that I'm a hardworking person at scale. It doesn't matter what the color of the logo is on the email. What matters is that it's your character, right? It's your character traits. It's what they see as a pattern in you as a person. So understand and really think about this, and you can write this one down, that your personal brand is not a logo. It's who you are. When people think about your name, they're thinking about who you are, the person. You are the personality. Who you are as the hard worker. Who you are is always taking care of them. That's what they're thinking about, and that's brand. And the only way to create that brand is by getting out there and being yourself. Getting out there and being who you are and showing people who you are, right? The problem is people create the logo, and then this is the brand, and then now they're pushing it out in their marketing. But the marketing isn't really showing them who they are, number one. And number two, to show people in your market, your local market, who you are and build that brand takes a lot of time. It just doesn't happen in 6 months or a year or 2 years or 3 years. It's something that is a snowball that slowly builds over time. You can't expect your name to just be massive. You can do some billboards and you can do this and that, but then you better be ready to back it up when people call you, that you're there, that you're Johnny on the spot, that you're going to answer your phone, that you're going to do what you say you're going to do, you're going to work hard, you're going to look out for their best interest. Because if you put all that marketing out there and then you don't back it up, then what? Now you got a bad brand. We're moving so far away and so much closer to personal brand. And I just want you guys to realize that it's not a logo. It's who you are as a person, right? And showing that to as many people as you possibly can. Not being somebody that you're not being fake, not, pretending like you're a hard worker. We look busy when we're on social media, but are you working hard when nobody's looking? I used to copy and paste phone numbers into Spokio, Bigfoot, and whitepages.com till midnight every night. Because I knew that calling the property owners was where I wanted to be, where I wanted my business to be, because I knew that conversation was the key to all closings. I knew that there wasn't going to be a closing without any conversation having place. There was one deal out of my 1,000 transactions that I did not talk to the person. He was out of the country. We did it by email. And we closed it all, never talked to them. 1 out of 1,000. Has anyone here ever closed a deal without actually talking to someone? Tell me about it, sir. Right, right. And it happens. It happens, right? But what are the stats? Okay? When you really break it down, I'm sure you'll even agree. It doesn't matter where you get your leads from, we have to talk to them. We have to end up talking to people. So I realized that early on. So that was my thing. I'm just going to look up, this is how you look up numbers? I'm just going to do this all night so that I can call them all day the next day. I did that for years. And I was by myself in my office grinding. That's the way you guys got to think. But here's the thing. You don't have to do that with the technology we have nowadays. You guys can take what took me 15 years. I made 100,000 calls in 15 years with my hand, looking them up by hand, one at a time, copying and pasting their addresses in these different websites. You guys can call 100,000 numbers in 2, 3, 4 years. You can do it in you can do what took me 15 years in 2 or 3, 4 years. And literally be where I am right now. You can hit 100 deals a year within the next 3 or 4 years if you put that work in. It's right there in front of you. Right? So what's stopping you from doing it? That's the question you got to ask yourself. Why am I not doing this? Now, we look at all the different lead generation sources and everything, and you break it all down and dissect it all and debate all of them, right? I don't care where you get your leads from. As long as you're getting enough of them to call people from 9 to 12 every day to have those conversations, because the more conversations you have, the more closings you're going to have. It's simple math. If conversation is the key to all closings, then if I want to have as many closings as I can possibly can, then all I got to do is have as many conversations as I possibly can. I don't understand people waiting around for leads to come in instead of just calling the exact people you want to do business with. I don't understand it, but I'm not going to argue with it either. If that's what they want to do and they're building their business, that's fine. For me, I need to have conversations with people. Just give me their numbers and let me just call them then. That's me. And you know what that does? It comes right back to personal brand, because people know when you call them, they know that you're in the office making calls. And now what? They think you're a hard worker. Everybody loves a hard worker. Personal branding is not a logo. It's who you are. So you got to ask yourself, who am I? You need to sit down and really think about it. Who am I? Right? Am I really a hard worker? Right? Do I really want the best for people, or am I just trying to make money? Am I really honest? Am I really dependable? Do I let people down or not? Do I do what I say I'm going to do or not? Have a one-on-one with yourself. Break down who you really are, and then funnel that into your personal brand, because that's what your personal brand is going to be. Who's excited and ready to put in the work? Say aye. Aye. Let's talk about setting expectations, your expectations. Okay? And then I want to take as many questions as I can. Where do I begin with this? People set these expectations that are so unrealistic and then become so incredibly disappointed when they don't hit these crazy goals. And it's a very dangerous game to play. They're comparing themselves to other people. And they're saying, well, Ricky's doing 100 deals a year, so I'm going to set my goal for 100 deals a year. It makes zero sense. I'm not saying don't go for the 100 deals a year. I'm saying don't compare yourself to me, A. And B, when we're brand new into the business, we don't know what goals to set for ourselves, because we don't know. I was talking to an agent last week, incredibly disappointed, frustrated individual who in his first year is about to clock out at $35,000. And I said, bro, I made $20,000 my first year. You almost doubled my first year volume. You know, you should be celebrating right now. You should be 90% of people don't even make it in this business, and you made $35,000 in your first year. I mean, that's as much as some of our teachers make, right? And cops and some of the, I said, what was your goal? Why are you 150,000? I said, where did you get that number? You just pulled that number out of nowhere and said, I'm going to hit this, and if I don't, then I'm going to be mad? That's what people are doing. That's what people are doing. We have to set, I'm not saying downgrade our expectations, go for the moon. But what I'm saying is when we set out to do whatever we're going to accomplish, this is what I want you to focus on. I want you to focus on the actual actions that you're taking on a daily and weekly basis. I'm going to do this many hours of that. I'm going to do this many hours of this. I'm going to put this in place. Right? And then whatever, I'm going to shoot for 150,000, but if I give it everything I got every day and all I make is 35, I'm going to be cool with that. That's when you start winning. When you're not worried about the end result and you're not so tied to it, you're putting too much weight on it. You guys are putting too much weight on the end result and not enough weight on the daily actions to maximize that end result. Your end result is going to be the highest if you give the highest amount of effort. So why are we even worried about what this is going to be? This is what we got to put in to make this as big as it's going to be. Right? I have so many conversations with agents about this. It blows my mind how disappointed some of you guys get and have some really incredible results. And I want you to start setting the right expectations. So when we're setting our daily and our weekly schedules and we're allocating the time we're going to spend on real estate and what we're going to do to maximize our time, you also need to, in my opinion, go below our means just a tad. Because here's another problem I see, even with this. I'm going to make 500 calls a day, every day. You can't make 500 calls every single day. Now, there's some people that have done it, okay? Right? No, I'm going to prove Ricky wrong. Sure, you can do it for a week or two, right? But then after you've called those 14,000 people, you're going to be so busy helping the people that you talk to during those calls, you're not going to be able to make 500 calls a day from there on out, right? There's going to come a breaking point. And then what happens? People make calls and then get too busy to make the calls and then get upset that they can't make the calls anymore. That's why we made the calls. That's why we're doing this, to build our business. And I believe where the problem is that what I would like to see is, and this is just an example, I'm just throwing numbers out there. If we know we can make 500 a day, let's shoot for 300, because slow but for show. That's what Pitbull said. Listen, I want to see a decade. What pace can you hold for 10 years? Not this year. I don't care what you do this year. I don't care what the results are. I care what amount of work you're putting in, but I don't care what the results are. Could care less what the results are. I want to see that you're taking the actions that you're supposed to take. That's what means something to me. When I'm evaluating your business, right? When I'm evaluating your business, I'm looking at pendings and listings and closed sales. That's half of it. But the other half is, how many people are we talking to on a daily basis we never talked to before? And out of that, how many of those people are we connecting with? That's how I evaluate your business. That's how I can tell where you're going to be. I can tell where you're going to be based on what you're doing now, if you continue to do these things, right? Please be careful with setting your expectations, setting your goals for the end of the year. I have a goal every year, make $1 million in real estate, right? If I wake up December, I don't care if I make it or not. I know that I'm doing everything I can do to make it, and if I don't hit it, that's fine. This was the maximum result that was going to be yielded from my maximum effort. But what it rolls into is this. Write this one down. Accumulation. And this is the part right here that people don't think about in their first year. In your first year, you make 10,000 calls and you pick up 500 people that might do business with you in the future. You know, you close 6 deals or something for $35,000. All right, you're just thinking, man, I only just made $35,000. When I'm saying you got 500 people there that might do business with you or refer people to you in that second year, and you're probably going to make 150. And then if you keep going and you take that to 1,000, that third year, you're probably going to pop 250 and have a lot of momentum, a lot of wind behind your sails. And you can keep building and building and building, because when those people enter into your database, sure, they can click unsubscribe. Sure, they can have a bad experience with you and not want to do business with you anymore. You're going to lose people. This business is a business of filtering through the population and finding that concentrated group of people who want to do business with you, who love your content. If somebody unsubscribes, that's a good thing. I don't want to do weekly emails, man, it's too frequent. People are going to unsubscribe. Those people that unsubscribe from weekly, they're going to unsubscribe from monthly. If you send them an email once a year, they're going to unsubscribe from it. They are unsubscribers. They don't even get email. It's not the weekly thing. You want the people who see the weekly thing and think, damn, this dude is getting it. You want those people. You don't want the people that don't subscribe. Great. Go to a real estate agent that's on social media doing their thing, right? Or whatever you like. You're not going to please everyone. But I want to show my clients that I'm consistent. I want to show them that I'm hardworking and that I'm working behind the scenes to try to put them in the best position when they get ready to buy or sell. Okay, so be careful with setting goals. I hope this helped you kind of level out, okay? Because we're putting too much weight over here when really we need to level it out. Let's put some weight on our yearly results. Let's also put a lot of weight on our daily goals, because that's what's going to get us our yearly goals. Okay? I want to ask you guys this one last question before I take some questions. In Miami, I asked the entire audience, okay, to answer this question. And I'll ask you guys, and I'm open for any debates, okay? And I've asked hundreds of thousands of agents this question. I've yet to get a debater. But don't be scared. If you do have a side, I want to hear it. But I would love to hear a strategy better than this, okay? Instead of doing all the lead generation things that all just filters right back to the same action, which is a conversation with someone, why wouldn't I, instead of doing all that, spending all that time, money, and energy on that, why wouldn't I just get the exact property owner's information for 2 cents that I want to do business with, call them not to sell them, but just to make friends, followed by a weekly email on the same day of the week forever? Can anyone tell me anything that's more efficient, cost-efficient, productive, scalable? Please. Feel free. I have a mic. Yeah. Hold on one second here. Let's get you a mic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to contradict anything you say because you're obviously outperforming me. So, but I would just say, as far as short-term leads, expireds, and for sale by owners are probably going to be a little quicker.
That's a property owner.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Again, I'm not contradicting anything.
No.
you said,
I'm not talking about circle prospecting.
Just adding that. Yeah.
No. Expireds and for sale by owners, those are property owners. It's working.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Just got to hold it closer. Yeah. So that's basically it.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just think they're better because they're better short term or whatever. Yeah. It's the same. That's the same thing. It's property owners. And you're talking about call them, right? Call them, make friends, help them sell their properties. Same thing. All right. Let's do it, man. This dude is jacked, y'all.
No. Hey, so just one question on that. Actually, if I was going to set up, like, let's say a 3-hour call block a day, I know you kind of built your business on circle prospecting. I've got expireds for sell by owners, old expireds, and then the circle prospecting. If you had a 3-hour block a day that you're making calls, say from 8 to 11, how would you break that up as far as your time block?
On the type of leads I'm calling?
Yeah.
I would do 1 day expireds, 1 day for sell by owners. I would do it by days.
Got it.
I would diversify by days.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay, going once, going twice. I said the same thing to 800 agents in Miami. One person was like, grr. And I was like, do what? You trying to say something? And she was like, door knocking. And I was like, well, okay. And I should have said, tell me more why you think that's better. But instead, I just said, well, I can sit down in one spot and make 100 dials in an hour versus, walking around and calling and knocking on doors. Much more efficient, okay? My point is this. If you guys can't tell me a better strategy than what I just said, then why aren't every single one of you doing it? Is anyone not doing it? Why? Why? It's hard. Was it supposed to be easy? That's the name of the game, getting better. That's the name of the game, getting better. Cool. There's a Red X coupon there in all of you guys' seats if you want to take advantage of that. And thank you guys so much. All right, I'm going to take some questions if you guys have any.
I'm in an interesting market. I'm down.
Closer.
Good.
There you go.
Everybody, you hear me?
Yep.
I'm in an interesting market. I'm down in southern Utah, and I'm a newer agent. I'm coming out of the corporate world, and I've met a lot of people that don't think very highly of real estate agents in my market.
Yeah.
What would you say are the 1 or 2 things that you can do as an agent who's applying this philosophy of just hey, I want to get to know you. I want to be a friend. Yeah. But you from the get-go hate me because I'm a real estate agent, or think I'm a sleazy slime ball because I'm a real estate agent.
Right. No. The thing is that scenario is really great for you because they have this bad impression of real estate agents, and now here you have the opportunity that gives you, like, you can stand out so much more now. Because if everybody was like me and you, then it would be hard to stand out because everybody's just so nice and not trying to sell us or anything. But the fact that we're the only one in this person's mind that actually cares and wants to help, right? So when you do use my philosophy and you approach them in a manner of, listen, I'm not trying to sell your house. I just want to know what I can do for you an hour later. I'd love the opportunity to work with you whenever you decide to do something. Because here's the fact. They need a real estate agent. They're going to need a real estate agent. They're going to have to use a real estate agent. They don't have to. There's a percentage that does for sale by owner. There's a percentage but chances are they're going to need a real estate agent to help them through that transaction, to help negotiate, to help all the stuff I talked about in the beginning of the speech. So this gives you an opportunity to really, this makes it like a cakewalk in that scenario. Because if they already have this bad impression and then you come to them and say, listen, I'm not like that though. I'm not even trying to sell you. This is what I'm trying to do. This is how I operate. Give me a chance. Let me send you a weekly email. We'll go from there. If you don't like me, fine. I'll go find somebody that wants a hard worker. I'll go find somebody who wants an honest agent that's looking out for them, that wants the best for them. If you don't want all those things, then I'll find somebody else who does, right?
So first off, I love the flip-flops. Makes me feel really comfortable. So Ricky, the first time I heard about you was with, I think it was Brandon Mulrennan.
Yeah.
I bought his system and
Yeah.
just the wrong time, right? Because there's not a whole lot of for sale by owner out there. And I didn't like the idea of paying for stuff.
What do you mean? Paying for the coaching?
Paying for the coaching.
Yeah.
And more or less paying for leads. Like, I don't like that either, because if people see you for who you are, they're going to use you,
Yeah.
right? And so with that, I was looking for systems that you personally implemented, and I haven't quite seen that. And you almost touched on that a little bit. You said that
Yeah.
when you make your first call, you make your first call, you make your initial, hey, I'm Ricky Carruth. How's the weather going? You're just trying to strike up that
Yeah.
conversation, right? And past that, once you get past that first call, what is your follow-up system like, beyond just how can I be of value today? How can I be of value tomorrow? How can I be of value when you're ready?
Yeah.
Because it really does sound like, instead of, talk about the pressure cooker a little bit, instead of being on the outside waiting for them to cook, it sounds like you're kind of jumping into the pressure cooker with them,
Mm-hmm.
and letting your relationship be built together, so to speak. I don't know. So
I mean,
is that what you do?
Like, I guess what you're asking is once
Beyond the email.
Yeah, once I talk to them, and then once they're in my email database, and they're getting my weekly email, then what, basically, right?
Yeah.
They call you. That's number one. Like, that's the first thing to wrap your head around. Sure, let me get into some other stuff. But first and foremost, realize that we're creating a business of attraction. Our end goal is, in 5 years, we don't have to call anyone. People are calling us. I haven't done anything to sell 100 properties for the last 3 years except for answer the phone or email if somebody has been referred to me, or a past client, or somebody that's getting my emails. Like, a guy called me yesterday. I sold his condo 4 years ago. I'll tell you a couple stories. 4 years ago, I sold his condo. Haven't talked to him since. He calls me yesterday and says, we sold some land. We want to do a 1031 and buy another condo. And then I called him, and after I got off the plane, and we had a long conversation, and he's coming down August 14th to look at some stuff in 800 range. I haven't talked to him since then. Right? 2 people called me 2 weeks ago to list their condos, one condo, one house. I sold them the properties 5 years ago, hadn't talked to them since. Here's what. When you're in the deal with them, and they see how above and beyond you go during the deal to make sure everything goes smooth for them, they'll never use another agent. You don't have to do all this extra, bells and whistles stuff, number one. Okay, when they feel that value, they're not going anywhere else. They're like, I will never use another agent. That guy did it, right? But going back to when I first started talking, the progression. When you're at the point where you can call people in your database twice a year, do it. But then as you continue to grow, you're going to get to the point where you can't call them. Because when you call past clients and people in your database, that's not a cold call on average is 3 minutes, something like that. A past client call is 30 minutes. It's a totally different ballgame. You can't do $100 an hour past clients. Number one, they're all good numbers. Number two, they all want to talk forever. You're good to get like 3 or 4 calls in an hour with past clients. That's good. So if you're at the point in your business where you can call them twice a year, do it as long as you can. And then when you can't, you grow out of that. Then you go down to once a year as long as you can. And then the reason why it's progressing and you're getting to where you can't call them is because you're closing deals and helping people. Right? That's the progression of it. So that's my thoughts is, number one, we're building this. If you do it the way I'm telling you, you're building it so that you're attracting people at the end of the day, and then you'll never have to make another cold call ever. You'll never have to do anything except for do a weekly email and post on social media if you want to. I don't even do that. And still continue to service your clients. That's the goal, is attraction. You don't want to have a business where you're constantly chasing people. You guys understand that? You don't want a business where you're constantly chasing. When I get a random lead, from somewhere, I'll call them and leave a voicemail. I'll text them, say, hey, tried to call you, call me back. No response. The next day, I'll try to call them again. If I don't hear from them on that second one, that's it. They're in my database. They're getting my weekly email. They're going to have to call me now. I'm not going to chase people because that effort I'm spending chasing could be spent giving to people who are answering and are responding. That's what you guys don't realize. A lot of these programs, they want you to call these prospects like once a day for like 8 days or something, or they want you to call 10 times and stuff like that, right? You don't realize how valuable each dial is. Each dial that you're dialing, that's like when you're making calls and some people didn't answer, and then some people are like, they want to go back through the list to call the people that didn't answer. No, they're habitual non-answerers. They're like the unsubscribers, right? They're part of the same family tree. They're not going to answer. And so why am I going to waste that dial? Because that dial is so valuable to me, I could be dialing a new number that might actually answer. It's like so important, right? You guys don't realize the ripple effects here. I'll tell you something else too, how important everyday, daily activities are. If your dreams are, 5 years out, all right, and you're like, I'm going to make my calls and I'm going to do my thing. If you miss a session, you're literally sticking your dreams out another 6 months, just off one day of not doing what you're supposed to do because of the snowball and ripple effect that one day is going to have 5 years from now, the relationships and people you talk to, right?
Follow-up question.
Go ahead.
Does this translate to commercial real estate?
Commercial real estate's a whole different animal, right? So residential, you need thousands and thousands of clients in your database. Commercial, you can have 50 to 100, right, of really big investors, that are doing massive deals, multiple massive deals per year, and that's all you need. I mean, I know a guy that did $250 million in sales, and one was $130 million, one was $100 million, and then $30 million worth of little deals, and he only has like 60 clients. And he doesn't do the weekly email and stuff. He can call those 60 people all the time and see how they're doing and see what they need. Residential's a different ball game. You need that scalability. You need that huge personal brand. So it's two different animals. But yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, it'll show up on the video.
Is there a certain program you use, hey buddy, or a company for your weekly email, and then what content are you putting on that email?
Guys, write this one down, 0to-diamond.com/weekly email. There's a tutorial, screen share, I build the email, walk you through the whole process. Constant Contacts is who I use. If you start right there with your free trial, they will give you my template. They'll actually custom make a template just like mine for you. And then you can just take that and plug your stuff in there. Weekly email. That's it.
All right. Thanks, Ricky.
Ooh.
So just kind of going along with his, I signed up with Constant Contacts for a bit, and I'm not a tech guy at all.
Yeah.
I know you say you're not a tech guy, but I'm really not a tech guy.
Yeah.
I don't know how much time I wasted trying to put together emails, and it just didn't work for me. I would much rather pay somebody out of the sales I've already done to put together something.
Right.
How viable would that be, do you think?
Listen, man, here's the thing. That email is an extension of who you are. It's got to come out of your mind because it's giving your clients a part of you. They know it's a bulk email, but they feel a little bit of Ricky in there because I'm giving my opinions on stuff. So listen, man, here's the thing. If you're not very tech savvy and stuff, do this. Be the new listing guy, right? Where every week, what's your name?
Jeremy.
Jeremy?
Yeah.
You just say, Jeremy's new listings of the week, right? Or Jeremy's new listing report. That could be the subject every week with the date of whatever that Wednesday is. And your email could just say, hope you're having a great week. I wanted to let you know, here's the new listings in the area. Boom, click here. It goes back a week or two. It's all the new listings. Say, listen, if you see something you like, let me know. Everything's going good for me. We'll talk to you soon.
Gotcha.
That could literally come off of like a Gmail or Yahoo. I mean, you don't even have to do.
Constant
I mean,
contacts.
you might as well do it because it's, you know, and as you grow your database, you know, the thing about Constant Contacts compared to like Gmail and Yahoo and all that stuff is that they only let you do so many recipients per email and then so many of those emails per hour.
Right.
So it gets to the point where you can't scale. But with Constant Contacts and some of these other platforms, you put everybody in there and then you make the email and click send, boom, it sends to everybody at once. And Constant Contacts, I think, is free up to like 500 people in your database anyway. So you guys should use but you could create very simple. You could just have like a banner with your picture and your logo and then just say, hey, hope you're having a good week. Here's the new listings. And literally just maybe change and just say something else at the bottom every time, like your opinion on something like, hey, I went to this nice restaurant. It was really cool. It's whatever's or different things. If you want, you can make it very simple is what I'm saying, man.
Gotcha.
You know,
Gotcha.
and still incorporate you,
Right.
you know.
I appreciate that. What's your take on like MailChimp versus Constant Contacts?
I like Constant Contact. I mean, I've tried all of them, and MailChimp to me, and listen, it's great. Like, you guys use it if you're using it and stuff, and like, there's a lot of people that swear by it, and I don't like the way the email looks, and I don't think it's as user-friendly as, I think Constant Contact has way more features and different things you can do in your email as far as to make it look better visually, and just it gives the better experience for you and your database, you know, in my opinion.
Gotcha.
But I'm not a hater of any of it. I'm a hater of people not doing it. That's what I'm a hater of.
Yeah. Yeah, the only reason I asked about the MailChimp is it's free up to like, I don't know, 2,000 or 3,000 people, something
Well,
like
yeah,
that.
for a reason.
I don't know.
For a reason, man. For a reason.
It's not my boat, so.
For a reason. That's like some of these that have unlimited data, you know? Yeah, that's for a reason. It's no good.
So I've built my business primarily off of door knocking.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to get your opinion of, I know you're saying calls is more efficient,
Mm-hmm.
but the personal touch of actually talking
Yeah.
to someone face to face,
Yeah,
what do you think the efficiency
I love it.
rate is?
Listen, anything that puts you to where you're talking to property owners, I love,
Mhm.
right? Big heart. I love anything that involves you talking to property owners you never talk to. If door knocking's your thing, door knock. Door knock till your knuckles bleed. I'm all about it, right? It's a personal preference. Listen, everything that I tell you guys is just what I think. It is not to be taken with, this is what we need to do. I want you guys to listen to me and then say, okay, I can take what he did and I can apply this to my business and that I see the light, right? And if maybe you can take my approach of just trying to help people with your door knocking, I don't know what kind of scripts or what your approach is, but if you can take a more low pressure approach, more of a friendship creator, data collector type, type strategy, then maybe that helps you. I don't know what you're into, but no, man, I love door knocking. I've never done it, right? Never done it, but I know a lot of people that have, a lot of people are very successful. Whatever you have to do to build your database, right? And if that's what you like, I'm all about it.
Okay. Follow-up question
Yeah.
really quick about just your brand. I know you put out a lot of content and things like that. Do you have a team that helps you with that, or are you your solo guy creating all your content?
No, I don't create any of it hardly anymore.
Okay.
I've got a bunch of different companies and teams all over the place that create, but I do post it all,
Yeah.
right? So like they give me the edited content, and I have a huge library of content that's unreal, and then every day I'll just kind of pick and choose what I'm feeling. Oh, this is really hitting me today. I really want to share this, or this one's really, something I think people need to hear. So I'm posting, but other people are taking the content and creating it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
So I just barely turned, well, I didn't barely turn 18, but I'm pretty young. So
Give them a hand.
Thanks, guys. I'm pretty young, so my sphere of influence is pretty young too.
Yeah.
How would you work a younger SOI?
Put them on your, like, are you going to do a weekly email? Are you going to work social media? How are you going to build your brand as far as like the foundation?
Yeah, I was thinking like obviously social media and then like email too.
Right. See, and here's the difference, right? I don't know if you realize this, but email, you're looking at around a 90% organic reach, which means 90% of the people that are in your database will see it, at least in their inbox, versus social media, a lot of people, you all well know, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think the highest organic reach on social is maybe YouTube at 25%, which is the highest. The rest of them are much, much lower. So when you're looking at 25%, 5%, 2% versus 90%, for me, I'm thinking weekly email is going to be the foundation. Now, an interesting debate or an interesting subject to dive into there to segue is texting. Texting is a super high organic platform as well. And that's something that's becoming more and more prevalent in business. Even though it's still a very intimate place for friends and family, more and more businesses are using it, for their marketing efforts and stuff. That might be something, like if I were starting all over again, I believe I would have my email would be my foundation, right? I would want to do something like a monthly bulk text, and I want to build that text database. I want to get numbers from my prospects, and I want to build that database as well, and I would do social media as well. But to answer your question, listen, they're going to be buying houses at some point, number one, but number two, they're parents. They're parents, Talk to their parents. Say, hey, what's your mom and dad's number? Call them. Say, hey, I'm a friend of your son or whatever. I just got in real estate. I just want to know if there's anything I can do to help you, right? Use those connections to work up. Get their data. Put them in your database. Build, right? I don't know. A lot of things you can do. We could talk for hours on that.
Kind of to follow up with him, I started when I was 19. I'm 20 now, so I'm kind of a younger guy.
Give him a hand.
Same thing.
Dude's 20 years old.
Kind of the same thing. Like my sphere of influence are younger people my age and stuff, and like I'm trying to connect to older people.
Yeah.
Just people my parents' age and stuff like that. And I just want to ask you, like, what is one thing you think that I could do that could provide value to older people for them to not see me as a younger guy, like, hey, this guy's been in the business for a year. Like, I'd rather use someone who's been in the business for 15 years or something like that, because I feel like, I've been doing it for a year.
Yeah.
I'm confident in myself and my abilities,
Yeah.
but I just want...
Have you made sales?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Whenever, number one, talk to them. That's first and foremost, because if you're not talking to them, then nothing's going to happen, number one. Number two, have the conversation with them. And say, listen, tell me why exactly you would want to work with someone who's 15 years in the business and probably too busy to really give you the attention you really need. Why wouldn't you want to work with someone like myself who has a little experience here that knows I know the game, right? And I have time to spend just about every waking hour on just your deal.
Yeah.
There's no other agent. If you want Mr. 100 deals a year, Ricky, down the road, you go down there, look at him right in his eye, and ask him where your deal is going to be on his priority list. I can guarantee you it's not going to be at the top, because that's where you're going to be for me, at the top. And I'm going to spend 8 hours a day on just your deal, right? So you have time. The experienced agents don't have the time you have. That's a huge advantage, and you need to play to that advantage. You need to tell your prospects that you have that on your side, right, as an up-and-coming agent, as someone who's trying to make it in the business. You've got that to go out there and really take care of them. So listen, that may win them over, may not, but at least you got something you're shooting with, at least you got some ammo, right? So, and the second thing is just by, you're like, well, how can they view me as a hard worker or somebody that's not young? By not acting young, right? By getting out there and actually working hard like you do have 15 years experience in the business. And they'll eventually realize it. Yeah, they're going to be getting your weekly emails. They're going to see you on social. They're going to start seeing you popping up like, wow, he's closing a lot of deals. Before you know it, you're like, oh, I'm number 4 in the area and stuff. You're like, wow, before you know it, you're number one in the area. Like, this guy's the number one agent in the market. You know, I knew him since he was, you know, right? All right.
So I'm relatively new to your content, but
Boo.
I love what I've heard today, and just kind of a follow-up to that door knocking question. So making a script off door knocking from what you've said would be going out and saying, hey, like let's say it's an area that I've sold property in. Say, hey, you know, I've sold property in the area. Just wanted to reach out to the neighbors and see if you were curious about market statistics. Is that kind of like, and then
Heck no.
Put them onto a feed?
Heck
I
no.
come from like formally, I've done timeshare, train, and like door knocking.
Nobody
so it's
wants to
very
know
high
market
pressure.
statistics.
So
I mean, see, they do, but they don't want to hear that word. That's when you ask people for an email address, you don't say, hey, I sent out this weekly email, this market report, you know, you mind if I get, that's never going to work.
Yeah.
You have to approach every situation in a very personable way. Whereas when you're asking for the email, you're saying, listen, at some point in the future, you're going to do something, I'm sure. I'd love to just stay, is it okay if I just stay in touch with you? And they're like, sure, cool, what's a good email? Bam. Instead of talking about, oh, I'm going to send you this, and I'm going to send you that, they get plenty of market reports. And you know what? They all suck. I don't care how to cook champagne. I don't care what color to paint my walls in the fall or 10 buyer tips to win multiple offers and stuff. I don't care about national stats. Nobody cares about that. They want to know local information, right? So when you go to when you're door knocking, so you're a door knocker? Yeah, you're just going to say, listen, and two, I want you to watch this video. You can write this down. It's called Best Door Knocking Script for Real Estate Agents. It's like a 6-minute video. And there's a guy named Ben Steven in Michigan who basically took my circle prospecting script and he kind of formatted it for door knocking. And he even breaks down the body language, right? It's not just the words. He breaks down the body language. Go watch that video. That'll answer all your questions.
Say it one more time just so I make sure I have it written down.
Best
right.
door knocking script for real estate agents. If you just search Ricky Carruth, best door knocking script for real estate agents, it'll pop up, first one.
Cool, thank
The
you.
thumbnail is me going like this. That's on.
Okay. I'm a business owner. I have my own company, and my database runs right now. It's just about 500 to 700 people, and I'm constantly getting new people into my database. My wife is a real estate agent. My business is appliance repair.
Okay.
How can I transition a lot of my database when I've done business with them fixing their appliances or whatever
Yeah.
into my wife's real estate business? Do I just start when I'm actually with the customer and I'm fixing their appliance? Do I just hand out her card with mine? And how would you transfer? There's two different areas, appliance repair and real estate. They don't even go together.
Yeah.
So
They kind of do.
Any ideas on how I can transition my database?
Yeah, sure. When you say database, right, that's a base of data, right?
Yeah.
So that means you have data within it, right? What data do we have? Do we have emails? Do we have phone numbers? Do we have addresses?
Emails, phone numbers, the clients I worked on, when I worked on,
Perfect.
previous invoices.
Perfect.
How they found me.
Perfect. You know what we're going to do? You're going to give that to her. How much are you going to charge her? You're going to give that to her, and she's going to call them all.
And how would she approach that?
She's going to say, hey, I forget you guys' names, but she's going to say, hey, I'm Joanna. Joe. Yeah, I'm Joe. Let's see, how would you word this? You're going to say, hey, this is Joe with whatever real estate, right? How you doing today? And you're going to say, hey, my husband is Dale, right, with whatever appliance. That's how you're going to start the whole thing out, right there. Hey, so-and-so. Hey, it's Joe at whatever real estate. How you doing today? Cool. Dale is my husband over at whatever appliance. Boom, instant credibility. You're done. In the bag. Now, you're going to just have the conversation and say, listen, I just want to call and just see if there's anything I can do to help you in the real estate world. I know Dale helps you on the appliance stuff, and I want to be here to help you if you ever want to buy or sell anything. So is there anything I can do to help you now? If not, cool. I want to do business with you later. I have your email here in Dell's database. Is it still da-da-da-da-da-da? Cool. I'm going to stay in touch with you there, right? And you just let me know if you need anything. And what will happen is when you call the 500 people, some of them are going to be looking to do stuff right now. And you're going to pick up leads, and you're going to start showing property and meeting people and closing deals, right? Whereas 487 of them are not going to be ready to do anything, but they're going to start getting the weekly email. But it's all going to come together because she called them, associated herself with you, and now the weekly email comes in after that great first impression, and now we're golden. Right? So can we do that? Or are you scared to call? Y'all? Y'all good? You like this? All right.
So I just have two quick questions. So you mentioned on the first 50 to 100 leads, maybe following up with them, excuse me, that you haven't done business with yet. So how much time is it worth spending calling these people back versus just focusing on creating new leads? Also,
Yeah.
do you organize those in Red-X, or how do you, like set a callback date? Do you just want to call back the hot leads? Like, how much?
I think what I would do, and it comes down to how much time we have, right? So when it comes down to us not having time, we're not going to do it anymore. That's the whole point of it. But I see what you're saying. How do you balance the new and the old? See, this is where you exponentially grow, okay? When you can actually find that balance between new and old. Whereas you're nurturing your old and you've got new coming in and you have both of those working at the same time. A lot of people only work on old. They just work their database. That's all they do. And they're just flatline. Their business their income's the same every year. And then there's people that only work new. They don't try to nurture anything. They don't do anything with past clients. They're just a hit and run kind of agent. They just do a new deal every time. But when you combine the two, right, that's when you really grow fast. So don't think too much into, I'm calling old and that's taken away from new, because investing more time into the old is what's going to make you that's going to be part of the reason why you blow up, right?
These are ones you have not done
Yeah,
business with.
haven't done business with. You just do it till you can't anymore. Okay. And like if you have 50 to 100, call them 50 to 100 people, man. Even if past clients, listen, not everybody's going to answer, that's not going to take too long. It's when we get into the 500s and the 800s, that's when things get a little murky.
You say about every 6 months, about twice
Every
a
6
year.
months if you can.
Okay.
Like if you're in that under 200 database, try to call them once every 6 months. Okay. But if you go through 6 months though and you don't call them because you were so busy, don't beat yourself up. They're still getting the weekly email. They're going to call you when they get ready. You know what I mean?
And then my next question is, so when you hold an open house for another agent, you have a list of buyers that are already represented. What are you doing with that information? Are you putting them into your weekly email, or are you just not contacting them, or, considering they're already represented?
Well, what's the definition of already represented sometimes? You know what I mean? That's the first question. But definitely going in my weekly email. Everybody's going in that, even their agents. Who's your agent? Let me put them in there too. Okay? All right? I'm going to put you and put them. That way everybody knows what. It just depends on what the definition of already represented is. You know what I mean? Like if they sign something, then I guess that's off limits, maybe. But, it doesn't hurt to call and say, hey, I met you at the thing. I know you said you're represented. I just want to make sure that is true and that you are taken care of. You can always take that approach.
Thank you, sir. With your social media and with your branding, going back to that just for a second, is it better to have two separate, let's say just Facebook pages, business and personal? Because a minute ago or a little bit ago you talked about branding yourself, and that is the brand. But do your family and friends and people who are following you on social media, are they going to get tired of seeing the real estate stuff? How do you kind of bridge those two things?
Everything for me is business. And then I have my personal, I have my Facebook profile that you have to have a Facebook account, right? So you have to have a Facebook profile, like a personal, that's not a business page, before you can create a business page, okay? So everybody has to have that. Okay, so for me, I'm going to do all my friends and family stuff on my Facebook profile, right? That's kind of the only place out of all the social medias that I'm really spending any time as far as friends and family goes on social media. And really not that much, to be honest with you, because I see my friends and family all the time. I don't have to post on social media to show them stuff. But I do post there, and I've been posting there more here lately. But then everything else is business pages, because everything else is business for me. Now, if I have friends and family who are following my business pages and my Instagrams and all that stuff, and they see all that, they're seeing it because they want to see it, you know? So everything is business. And then my Facebook profile is kind of where I try to keep it more friends and family. That's how I do it, you know? Yeah. And then as far as Instagram goes, I only have one account, you know, because everything's business. I'm not trying to do one friends and family Instagram account and one business, you know? It's all business.
With that being said, is there a Zero to Diamonds page? Then there's a Ricky Carruth page? Is there?
We created a Zero to Diamond Instagram like 5 years ago when we started it, but they probably even deleted it. I haven't logged in there in 5 years. Everything's just Ricky Carruth, you know? It's better to consolidate down, you know? Use everything for business. That's what a lot of the social media is intended for, business, you know? Keep it business, and then keep your friends and family on that private profile where you have to be friends with people for them to see your
And I have
content
searched
there.
a little bit on TikTok to see you dancing, but I haven't seen anything.
You know what's so funny about TikTok? I had 100,000 followers, a verified account, and TikTok let somebody hack my profile and literally steal it. You know, and like I messaged them, I even called people. I talked to other TikTokers and stuff, and they wouldn't do anything about it. So I'm not even on TikTok right now, and I've debated just creating a new account, just starting from scratch and just posting a bunch of stuff. But it's BS, you know, because I really liked the organic reach of the platform and stuff, you know, and I was on there doing a lot of stuff, but now I'm not because TikTok let somebody hack my account and steal it. Yeah, they hacked it. They posted a bunch. They deleted all the posts. Then they post a bunch of weird stuff. You know, changed the profile picture. It was weird, and I couldn't even log in anymore. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if that were to happen like on YouTube or something, I'd flip.
So, Ricky, I don't have social media. I did once upon a time. I don't like it. It's a waste of time, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And with the most recent presidential debate, I just deleted it, haven't gone back. And I hear constantly every realtor saying I need to do social media, but when I ask them, well, how many deals have you got for social media?
Yeah.
They almost always say none. If
You say none?
Most realtors.
Oh,
that I
most
ask,
realtors say
they're telling
none.
me I have to have it for
Oh,
business.
yeah.
If they're not
And then
getting
you
deals
ask
out of
them
it.
if they've done deals, and
Yeah,
they say none.
They say no.
Yeah.
So if I'm doing weekly emails and I'm calling people and I hold an open house every weekend that I can, do I need social media
No. You do not need social media.
for this business at all?
You don't
It's okay.
need social media, no.
Okay. That's
No,
it.
you don't need it.
Do you think I should have it?
That's up to you. That's up to you. I don't use it in my real estate business. I never did. My assistant posts, you know, we close something on there every once in a while, and then I share my weekly email on my real estate business page. But, you know, there are agents that crush it on social media, right?
Yeah.
And that's a fact. And that's powerful. I mean, and listen, I crush it on social media, just not in real estate. I mean, you guys are here because of social media. You guys all raised your hand and said you would love the opportunity, or if you had the opportunity to do business with me, you would. That's because of social media. That's the power of social media. So, is it powerful? Yes. Do you need it? I didn't need it to build my real estate business. You know, so that's a big, huge debate out there.
Okay.
You know,
I'm just curious your
but just to
opinion on
answer
it.
your question, you don't need it.
Sounds good. And then
If you hate it, if you think it's negative, if it's wasting your time, if it's distracting you, hey, there's a lot of people who delete their Facebooks and stuff because it's distracting and stuff. I know a lot of people who've done that.
and then just real quick, I just want to say, go Dogs.
Go Dogs. I don't have to say Roll Tide, man. We are, I mean, our record speaks pretty loud. All right. Anybody else? Dude, you are just jacked today, man.
One question. So this is probably for some of the newer agents. I'm not brand new. But as far as structuring your day to set up for competencies and things like CMAs and forms and things like that, what would be your suggestion in how to time block?
Love it. Love this one. Does anybody else have any more questions after this?
So I've taken the lion's share, obviously.
No, it's fine. I just want to see where we stand and everything. Man, this is a good one. I want to walk you through this. So, what time do you work out?
It depends.
Do you in the morning, though?
Not always.
Not always?
Morning, afternoon, evening.
I get up, I'll take you through my day, right? And then I'll tell you how this thing should be structured. And then I'll show you what's okay, okay? Because a lot of people don't think certain things are okay, but they are, all right? So I get up at 4:30 and I go straight to the gym, right? And then I do my thing for an hour and a half, and then I answer DMs. And then I start my work day, all right? So 8 o'clock, okay? Here's your day. Here's your work day. 8 o'clock, you want to sit down and almost meditate about your business, right? You want to look at all the notes from yesterday. You want to look at your schedule book. You want to go through all your emails, everything. You want to look at all your projects, all your hot leads, listings you're going after, negotiations, listings, everything. You want to scan over everything. What I do is I consolidate everything on a legal pad, right? And so I've got different columns where I've got deals I'm negotiating, listings I'm going after, projects I'm working on, what my schedule is today, social medias I'm going to post on. So I get all that set up first. Right? I don't make any calls. I don't send any emails. I'm just literally just focused on everything I have going on. All right? I want to know everything I have going on. And that way, once that's in place, now all I have to do is execute. I don't have to think anymore. Or am I doing the right thing? Or should I be doing this or that? No. I've already negotiated that with myself from the beginning of the day. Now, at 8:30, this is what all of you guys should be doing. At 8:30, we need to decide who we're calling. And from 8:30 to 9, we're literally getting ready to make our calls. We're doing all of our pre-call, warm-up, scripts, phone numbers, subdivisions, research, everything that we need. That way, 9 o'clock hits, boom, we're dialing. 9 to 12. This is how I do it. All right, 12 o'clock's lunch. From 1 on is marketing. Your weekly email, your social medias, your whatever you do. Okay? That's how you should structure your day. Now, let's talk about CMAs, listing appointments, showing properties, negotiating deals, writing offers, negotiations, and all that stuff. There's 4 things that are more important than any other activity for a real estate agent. Okay? It's writing an offer, showing property, going to a listing appointment, or negotiating a deal. Okay? Negotiating, writing an offer, listing appointment, showing property. Those 4 activities trump everything. So if Tuesday, you got to show property from 10 to 12, and you're going to miss the call session because of that, great. That's okay. Because that's more important than making the calls. Remember, that trumps everything, which includes making calls. Here's the hierarchy of activities. The 4 things I just said at the very top, making calls, number 2, and then everything else. That's the order of the hierarchy of activities for a real estate agent. The 4 things I just said is number 1, making calls is number 2, and then everything else.
So tell me the 4 one more time, if you would. So
Showing property, negotiating a deal. Like if you get a call, if in the middle of your call session and you get a call coming in and you know it's an agent with a counteroffer or answering you something or there's something going on with some deal, I'm answering. Showing property, negotiating a deal, writing an offer. If a buyer says, I want to make an offer on this, I'm dropping everything. Everything. Where's my computer? Okay, what's the name you want on the title? Cash or financing? Showing, negotiating, listing appointments, writing offers. That's good stuff. right? So our day should be structured as 8 o'clock, let's organize our day and our entire business and our life. If we take a second and stand back and look at it from a bird's eye view and really concentrate on everything we got going on and just take a break for just a second, we can execute at a much higher level because now we know everything going on. We know where we got to be and when we got to be there every second of the day. Then at 8:30, let's talk about let's figure out who we're calling so that at 9 o'clock we're dialing instead of 9 o'clock figuring out who we're calling and then 9:30 calling. Even if you're doing social media, you should be using social media to collect data to call people. Even if you're doing Zillow or open houses or stuff that isn't cold calling, whatever you are doing better be producing enough numbers to call people all day from 9 to 12 every day. All right, so 8 o'clock organized, 8:30 before the call research, 9 o'clock to 12 calls, 12 lunch, 1 to the rest of the day, marketing, whatever you want. Because at that point, you've already accomplished everything you need to accomplish. Does that make sense? Good. Somebody wants a CMA, somebody wants a listing appointment, someone wants to show some property, I'm there right then. I don't care what I got going on.
I was wondering if you have any videos on listing appointments?
Yeah,
And
tons of them. Just
you do.
search Ricky Carruth listing appointments.
You do? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And
Or
what
Ricky
would you-
Carruth listings. There's like how to get listings in this market, listing appointments, listing presentations.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I haven't been on there for a little bit,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I've been working like
No,
a
no, no.
regular job.
No, it's okay. Yeah. You working a regular job, you say? Oh, okay. What's your day off?
Well, that's the thing I have. I'm on a flex schedule, so I can do, and that's what got me thinking I think I should take off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays.
Right,
And my
right,
husband's
right.
going to have to compromise because he's off on weekends, so I'm going to tell
Right.
him I'm going to buckle down.
You can be off on the weekends too, right? You can make one long call session every Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I tell my part-time agents to do.
Okay.
You know, they're working during the week. You know, I tell them don't kill yourself to make calls after 5. You're tired.
Okay.
You know.
Right. I get off at
You know,
6. I
and
get off
don't
till
say, oh, I'm gonna make calls every day. This gets back into setting our goals at a pace that you can't make calls. You worked all day. You're tired. You have family. You got errands to run. You can't. But you can definitely commit to a one solid call session every Saturday, right?
Right.
So.
Yep. Well, thank you.
So for a newer agent, obviously you're not going to be getting consistent income. So how would you, I guess, survive, pay bills and stuff, you know, when
Do what I
you're
did,
not
man.
getting bill-
Do what I did. Live with my mom.
That's fair.
Nah, I was roofing houses. I was roofing houses, and I was living with my dad. No, I mean, get you a job. Most people start out part-time. One more.
So I think I know the answer to this question, but I'm going to pose it anyway.
That's
So-
never a good start.
Nah. So if I want to add another market that's outside of where my SOI is, okay, so I live here in Salt Lake, but I want to start working in southern Utah a little bit. I've got a place down there.
Yeah.
And I want to start working there. Just apply this, pick a region down there and start making calls. That's how I'm gonna get established down there, right? I
Yeah,
mean, it's-
exactly.
Don't have to have an SOI,
Listen,
just build
think
an
of
SOI.
yourself as a politician, okay, and canvass the market, banging the phone, so let everybody know who you are, what you do, and you're here to help. What else can you do, right? Think of yourself as a volunteer worker, right? You're just trying to do community outreach to provide your services as a real estate agent to them. You know, that's how you need to think of yourself. This was fun. Thank you, guys.